Hi guys, in this video I'm going to do a full exam review with May 25 IB English A Language and Literature papers. Do check the description box, then you can find the timestamp for a specific paper of your interest. All right then, let's give it a go. All right, what do you do when you are given a random extract like this? First, you check the instruction and then the guiding question. It seems not so tricky. Next is to read the detail of the given extract. And after that, you plan your essay with 3 to 4 main ideas, right? Here, I introduce you to this essay outline with the assumption that you already read this extract. So if you haven't, you better need to pause the video and read first. All right, let's move on to the main business. There are 4 key elements that you should include in your introduction. First, your essay can have a smooth start with identifying the source of the given extract. In this case, the extract is from the website Redwood Tree Walks, which provides information about the eco-tour activity in Redwood in New Zealand. After that, you should identify the target audience, in this case, probably tourists from the globe, anywhere. Also, particularly who seek to have eco-friendly and nature-oriented holidays. And third element is the purpose. So I assume the purpose of this extract is to provide detailed information on the unique tree walk experience in the wood and attract tourists for their visits. Last is your thesis, which guides examiners to understand which ideas and points, the 3 big ideas that you will analyze in this essay. So for this, I wrote that as the website uses multiple effective strategies to promote their tourism service, which is tree walk. And most notably, number 1 point, the adoption of colorful tone in the language. Number 2, the layout of the information. Number 3, visuals. So all of them do function to successfully achieve its purpose. As I wrote in the thesis, body 1 is about the use of colorful tone in the language. This extract uses multiple tones to deliver the charm of the woodwalking and attract the visitors. First, I found the colloquial tone. Here comes the evidence. Pronoun you, our, often your eyes, surround yourself. And emotive tone can be found as well. This is established via the use of diction, such as breathtaking, immersive, extraordinary. Such emotive adjectives promote the experience as a memorable opportunity. Last one is joyful tone. Mainly I found this through the use of alliteration, such as majestic and magical, daytime discovery, gentle giant. Also, I found repetition of imagery is also joyful, such as describing the wood as wonderland, gentle giant, high above, all give a positive and playful impression. Next point is about the layout of the information provided. Each page in this extract has a coherent structure, which must be carefully intended and designed. First, the images and text altogether construct the impression of significance of the woodwalking experience, such as first, you write down some words like, welcome to our wonderland, daytime tree walk, breathtaking. So words evoke curiosity and grab attention in the first place. And then followingly, practical information such as how long do you take to finish the travel, or how much do you have to pay. Also, there are lots of price options. Such practical informations are provided, and every end of each page, clicking options are given to give more detailed information, like let the customers to actively search for further information, such as find out more, discover the day, buy tickets. So all evoke further searching. The last point that is worthwhile to be noted is the use of visuals in the extract. What's pretty noticeable is first, the contrast between man and nature. Nature occupies more space and is therefore looking more significant, promoting the groundness of the nature. And also the camera angle. The camera angle of the shot emphasizes the size of the trees and man gazing up at the trees, somewhat presents the insignificance of human, Also, the images show the tree walk by daytime and nighttime to show the beauty of each different time. Alright, for the conclusion, I don't recommend you to spend too much time on the conclusion. Simply restating the thesis. Obviously, it needs to be paraphrased, and one or two sentences that you point out some limitations of the extract to achieve its purpose, which is evaluation. That would be enough. So it's done for question 1. Let's move on to the next extract. Second extract is an infographic, which seems a bit overwhelming. Too much information, probably. Nevertheless, let's delve into one by one. Same elements for introduction are needed. So first, the source. The extract is an infographic released by a charity organization's website, goodthingsfoundation.org. Next is its potential target audience. Probably it's going to target the general UK public. And along with them, more specifically, I want to say local administrators are going to be one of them. So because they can conduct policy actions to narrow the digital gap in the community. Third is the purpose of the infographic, which is technically already given, but I can be more specific. The extract already said the organization aims to fix the digital divide for good. In other words, to inform current state of digital division in the UK society and to promote the benefits and costs of having digital disengagement amongst community members. Last is the thesis. With the aim of promoting digital engagement in the community, the infographic strategically uses both language and visual tools, mainly juxtaposition as a number 1 point, logos as number 2, and symbolism as number 3. As I already have said, my first analyzing point is juxtaposition. Interestingly, this infographic uses quite diverse types of contrast. First, contrasting color, red versus green. Red for poorer, unhealthier, and digitally engaged parties. Green for wealthier, healthier, and digitally engaged parties. Contrast in landscape, winter for the detached, summer for the engaged, night, obviously, for the detached, day for the engaged, varied landscape for the former, and green grass and flowers for the latter. Contrast in people's activities. People look a little lost, confused, aimless on the disadvantaged side, whilst on the other side, people are happy, have purpose and pep in their steps, and are engaged in wellness activities such as cycling, running, and meditation. Next is about the vast use of logos, which is a common technique in infographics. So first of all, there is a comprehensive use of statistics. Those add credibility to the infographic, especially since data and numbers allow easy comparisons and understanding on the current state, such as London has limited users 30%, extensive users 49%. On the other hand, less urbanized area has much bigger number of limited users, so that public or related stakeholders can easily understand the national situation. So key information is given as numbers, stats, so it allows clear understanding on the issue. Last is the symbolism used in the infographic. First, the symbolic function of the river was particularly impressive to me. It divides the red and green side, and the cracks on the left-hand side, implying the social division originated from digital engagement. And the ways that race is presented should be noted in this discussion too. People of color dominate the disadvantaged side, and while this might reflect different levels of engagement online in those social groups, but also it also potentially reinforces a negative stereotypes existing in the community. Lastly, the sun in the center of the image can be setting to one side, but rising to the other. It may imply that the potential significance of progressive action on the digital divide. For the conclusion, restating the thesis and briefly pointing out the limitation of the extract, considering its purpose. Those will be good enough. All right, this is the end of the paper 1. What's following is paper 2. For the paper 2, as we all know, there are many different ways that you can compose your paper 2 essay. Since you all have different text that you use in your paper 2 essay, and you all have different combinations. So this exam review is only for a reference, hopefully helping you to get some idea how to interpret the core mission of the essay prompt and compose your essay by applying your own text. And then, long rambling short, let's give it a go. Question number 1. Discuss how the writers of 2 works you have studied depict social tensions. So for this prompt, the key word is social tensions. And one way to compose ideas for this essay is you can think of multiple types of social tensions that are presented in your text, which means you focus on content rather than the techniques. So in body 1, you can talk about the one type of social tension, which is from class and power. So you show how social class division is presented, especially through characters or plot. And in body 2, you can talk about one other type of social tension, which is about gender roles and patriarchy. So in here, you analyze how each author reveals tension in gender expectations. Last would be about individual versus society. So in this case, you compare protagonists or other characters who resist or fail to fit into social expectations. Maybe a different way to compose this essay would be you can focus on how. So your body paragraphs can be constructed by each technique used. So potentially you can choose to go for symbolism for the body 1, context for body 1, context for body 2, etc. Question number 2. Referring to 2 works you have studied, discuss how effectively the writers communicate with the reader. For this prompt, it's so much easier to go for literary techniques since this is about the way that writers engage the reader. So potentially your essay can have these ideas. So the body 1 can be about the narrative voice and perspective the writers choose. So you answer, how does the perspective affect the reader's engagement and understanding? In body 2, you can talk about the structure or form that the writer choose for the work. So in here, you talk about how does the organization, such as chronology, chapters, pacing, communicate the meaning of the story, such as it is constructed to have nonlinear structure, realist narrative order, so it works to engage the reader in a certain way. Last can be about symbolism. So in here, you analyze what symbols or motifs communicate complex ideas to the readers effectively, Question 3. How does the narrative voice shape the reader's understanding of the characters' identities in 2 works you have studied? I reckon this prompt would have been the most tricky one, since one of the key words is narrative voice, and usually one text tends to have one type of narrative voice style, so it would be a bit challenging to compose 3 different bodies using one narrative voice. So, and then you analyze how this works to shape the character's identity. So my suggestion is, considering the type of narrative voice that your texts have, such as first person, third person limited, omniscient, unreliable narrator, whatever that is, your text both have like sharing or each narrative voice, So based on that, you compose your bodies like in body 1, based on one type of narrative voice that your text entirely has, character 1 and character 2, character 3. Or it can be about each identity, like identity about gender, identity about religion, or identity about social entity, whatever. So it can be divided in either character-wise or identity-wise. That's my recommendation. For last prompt asks, how do the writers of 2 works you have studied represent gender and to what effect? So obviously the key word is gender, and one way to construct the essay is, first, body 1, is through characters. Since writers often use characters to embody or challenge gender norms, and in Body 2, through narrative voice. So the way the story is told somehow directly or indirectly influences how gender is represented or gender expectation is established in the context of the story. And in Body 3, it can be through setting and context. This one is pretty easily applicable to every text. So you analyze how the social, historical, or physical setting shapes the gender roles, such as in what age or in what era or in what year or in what social context or country or so that can work to discuss the main topic of this essay prompt. All right, this is the end of paper 2. Thanks for watching. Bye.